"Sit down, girl. You don't belong here." The words cut through the restaurant like broken glass. A chair scraped violently across the floor as one of the men leaned over her table. His friends laughed, their voices echoing in the stale mix of grease, coffee, and cheap perfume. Maya did not move. She simply lifted her eyes, calm and steady, meeting his gaze. Around them, forks hovered mid-air. Conversations died mid-sentence. A thick silence settled, the kind that makes hearts pound harder in chests. The men thought they had found their target, a woman, alone, outnumbered. But they had no idea who they were provoking. In less than 15 seconds, the balance of power in that room would flip so hard they would choke on their own arrogance. Maya looked ordinary to the crowd. A dark jacket, simple jeans, hair tied back neatly. But beneath her quiet surface lived storms few could imagine. She was not just a woman on her lunch break. She was a United States Navy veteran, a survivor of battles at sea and within herself, carrying scars no one in that restaurant could see. She remembered standing on a steel deck, salt spray burning her lips as the ship tore through midnight waters. She remembered the relentless thrum of engines beneath her boots, the sting of wind that smelled of oil and salt. She remembered writing to her mother in cramped handwriting, never saying how dangerous it really was, only that she was doing fine. She remembered the friends she lost, their laughter echoing in memory, their faces frozen in photographs folded carefully inside her wallet. Every breath she took now was a promise to them, to live with dignity, to never let fear or cruelty claim her spirit, and so she sat there, unshaken, as three men tried to strip away the very respect she had bled to defend. The men grew louder, crueler. One slammed his hand against her table, rattling her silverware. The others jeered, their eyes sharp with contempt. They saw her silence as weakness. They mistook her stillness for fear, but Maya's silence was not fear. It was discipline. It was patience. It was the silence of someone who had once stared into waves taller than houses, who had listened for enemy radar in the middle of the night, who had learned that the calmest waters often hide the fiercest storms dot around her, strangers, lowered their heads, avoiding eye contact. No one wanted to get involved. No one wanted trouble. And in that silence, Maya understood. She had fought for people just like this, for their freedom to look away, for their right to remain silent even when silence burned. Under the table, her hand brushed the edges of her wallet-faded leather. Worn thing, carrying her Navy ID. That little card held more weight than any insult. Quietly, she slid it toward the young man sitting at the counter. He looked down, confused at first. Then his eyes widened as he read the name, the title, the emblem. He stood, voice trembling but clear. "Do you even know who she is?" The restaurant turned as one. Conversations froze. Children leaned closer. Forks clattered on the plates. The wallet lifted in his hand, catching the dim light. The Navy insignia gleamed like a blade. Gasps spread through the room. Whispers grew. "She's military." She served. The three men faltered, their bravado crumbling as quickly as it had risen. Their laughter died, replaced by the choking realization that they were not mocking a stranger. They were mocking someone who had given years of her life, so they could sit in that very restaurant, safe and free. Maya finally rose to her feet. Her voice was quiet, but it carried more weight than any shout. "I stood watch so you could sleep. I sailed storms so you could stay safe on land. I served so you could live free. And I will not be disrespected in the country I defended." Words struck harder than fists out one by one. People in the restaurant stood. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with silent respect. Mothers, fathers, children, workers all rose until the three men were surrounded not by laughter, but by a wall of dignity. The power had shifted, and there was no way back. The men muttered. Apologies, voices cracking, eyes dropping to the floor. But Maya did not need their words. Her strength had already spoken. She walked out, shoulders steady, leaving behind a room full of strangers who would never forget the day silence roared. Louder than cruelty, That day, 3 men learned the truth they would carry forever. Respect is not optional. Dignity is not negotiable. And honor, once earned, cannot be broken. Sit down, girl. You don't belong here. 3 men cornered a woman in a crowded restaurant, mocking her, pushing her, daring her to fight back. The room fell silent. No one stepped in. But in just 15 seconds, everything would change because the woman they were taunting wasn't just anyone. She was a Navy veteran,